Musk trial. Lawyers clash over whether CEO lied in 2018 Tesla tweet. Am considering taking Tesla private at 420. Funding secured. And this is on August 2018. You can see this is Elon Musk tweeting out. And basically, if you've been following this, they're on trial right now, and both the attorneys have given their cases, and actually really quite interesting. The headline here was Elon Musk depicted as a liar, visionary, and Tesla trial tweet. Why are we here? We are here because Elon Musk, chairman and chief executive of Tesla, lied. His lies caused regular people like Glenn Littleton to lose millions and millions of dollars. Trying to paint Elon Musk as purposely misleading people, and then a lot of people ended up buying said stock. And when the deal didn't go through, the people essentially lost money. Now, one of the things that is also important to think about is how would you defend this kind of thing? You will come to learn very soon. This was not fraud, not even close, right? This is according to Elon Musk's defense, and essentially they're saying the tweets contain technical inaccuracies. That's the phrase that his lawyers are using to defend himself, and also too they're saying in a rush for a rush, he used the wrong word. So that's the case. So it's up to you if you decide if Elon Musk is innocent or guilty, but I want to lay out a couple more things in my opinion to give you a general sense of how to think about this. So just imagine, for example, Tim Cook tweets out, Apple is buying Twitter at 420, right? So how would other people respond to that? Because Tim Cook literally would just tweet it out, Apple's buying Twitter. And then suddenly, Sundar Pichai would be like, yo, Google is buying Twitter at 450. Screw Apple, right? So the bidding's going up, right? And since everyone's tweeting out this stuff, then suddenly Mark Zuckerberg would tweet out, Meta is buying Twitter for 1,000 and selling Facebook to HBO for drama rights, right? You guys get the idea here. So the thing I want you to think about is that you are a CEO of a publicly traded company, right? And you can't necessarily just tweet out anything that you want at any time. You got to be careful with your words in anything, right? You're going to buy a company, sell a company, that you're firing people, that you're hiring people, any number of things. You got to be careful. You are CEO of a publicly traded company. So I laid you out the arguments of both sides. I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts on that. Head over to Coindesk. I don't get to say this very often, but I have an article over there. It was just published today. The headline is How Social Media Influencers Fed Bankman-Fried's Cult of Personality. Please take a look at it. It's about creators agency, stuff like that. Again, I wrote it. It's over on Coindesk. And in fact, it's funny, all the timing of the stuff with the Elon Musk trial and my article, and essentially more sort of crime and trials that are happening. That's been the theme of the day, as you'll see. Take a look at this one. This is a crypto exchange. It's called Lotto. And evidently, the founder was arrested for, get this, 700 million for laundering. That's quite a bit of laundering. So this is what it is. And evidently, there's a lot of different money in this thing. They were saying online, not necessarily online, but illegal gambling. That's a better way to say it. It could have been online, but illegal gambling and drug dealers. So this is the kind of money going into this thing. And the other thing too, which I thought was interesting, essentially when you sign up for an account at this Lotto thing, they wouldn't ask for very much info. So in these kind of situations, when they're not asking, for stuff, it's like no questions asked kind of plays. There's a higher chance of you're getting criminal funds and this sort of thing. The person evidently though was living in Shenzhen, although they are a citizen of Russia. And I guess online they were known to be crooks. And the government was actually had a really funny quote. I want to read it with you guys. They're saying here, this is from the government. They're saying, whether you break our laws from China or Europe or abuse our financial system from a tropical island, you can expect to answer for your crimes inside a United States courtroom. So the government's pretty aggressive on going after these people. And evidently, no one is safe. One of the things I think is different about, say, this one compared to the FTX sort of situation is that there's less money involved with this one, whereas the FTX there's more money involved. And the reason why I say that's different is because it's going to take more time and effort essentially to get that money back. So I think that's probably why the government, wait a little bit longer, or opposed to something like this where it's just like swoop in, arrest these people, and take them. Another thing is as well in the crypto world and sort of criminal world, I guess you could say, if you want to say that they're all criminals, but Genesis looks like to be filing for bankruptcy. There wasn't a lot of details in this one, other than we've known about this for a while. It has been rumored, and my personal feeling is always the same on these things. I just don't see any reason why you'd want to take risks on any of these exchanges at the moment when you can see you could get caught up in money laundering, you could get caught up in the founders stealing your money, this sort of thing, or you get caught up in pump and dump scams. Like why take the risk? It's just not worth it. There was a follow up to the. This was a Republican case thing. If you guys remember this, this is Matt Schlapp, and he was accused of essentially sexual, let's say assault. That's a good way to say it. And evidently the staffer who accused the person, and I actually heard the recording. I'm not going to play it or anything like that. You can find it if you like. I have no reason to not believe the person at this stage. I have the same opinion on all these kind of things. If he's innocent, be it Matt Schlapp, if he's innocent, no charges. If he is guilty, charge him, right? I believe in rule of law. These charges are very, very serious, and the staffer person is actually suing Matt Schlapp. So he's keeping his name private, and we'll just see how this develops. And again, the same. I take all these things seriously, and I don't presume innocence, and I don't presume guilt, which I think is fair. But do take it seriously though. And also too, in regards to the sort of situations, a very similar one as well. The Rick and Morty, one of the creators, Justin Roland, he's facing domestic assault charge. If you guys want me to go more into detail of this kind of thing, I can. I did look at it. It looked pretty serious to me. And again, the same thing as before, right? I don't presume innocence or guilt, but I do take it seriously. So I think that's a pretty good way to talk about this stuff. And sort of, on theme of today, unfortunately, it's just a lot of bad news. We talked about it yesterday where it was rumored that Microsoft was going to announce, or I mean, last week even, but it was rumored that Microsoft was going to announce layoffs coming this week. And as it turns out, 10,000 people at Microsoft, unfortunately, are going to be losing their jobs. So do be careful out there when you hear these kind of rumors. It looks like it's real. And the other thing is with regard to company cutbacks, it's not just Microsoft. You're also looking at, there was a headline here. It was interesting because it was conflicting headlines. Earlier, we had heard that Apple was going to introduce a new augmented reality headset kind of thing. That was sort of the thing that Apple was talking about. Now it's saying that they postponed it. So kind of think what happens with this sort of stuff is news sources have basically sources, employees that leak information inside big companies like Apple, and so I think all the reports are true, right? So probably Apple was considering doing the AR thing; they were looking at announcing it. So they probably had like a Zoom chat where Tim Cook said something or whatever, and it got leaked to the press, and now they're saying they're postponing it. So I think what it is they're sort of weighing the landscape of what consumers are willing to spend and how much money is going to be in the economy, and they're like, you know what, it's just not a good time to introduce a new product, which is not crazy. You take a look at this. Credit Suisse is paying their executives / employees cash up front. The basic gist of it is that no one knows if Credit Suisse would actually pay you money if you worked for them. Now the catch is if they do pay you the money up front and you quit, I think it's something like before 3 years, you got to pay the money back. So I'd be curious if any of you guys would take that deal. If your employer said, hey, we'll give you a bonus up front, would you take the money and stay? Because you don't know what could happen. Any number of things could happen at Credit Suisse. It is the bank for criminals or organized crime. So who knows what could happen with this kind of thing. But I think it's an interesting question whether or not you would take that money. So anyway, I'd love to hear your thoughts on any of the stories that we talked about today. I think that Elon Musk is an interesting one. What do you think about the charges against him? What do you think about the attorneys prosecuting? What do you think about the attorneys defending? Do you like either the arguments, one or the other? Thanks again for watching, and this has been your Daily News.